Hello there, and welcome to episode 114 of Radio Free Endor. My name is Jamie, and with me, as always, is my son, Christopher. How you doing, Chris?
Really good, thank you. We've had a few weeks off because it was Christmas when all the episodes came out. Maybe we fell off the horse a little bit, but we got back on and we're ready to go.
Yeah, and you've finally moved into your new flat, so you got a new office, and that's why if people are looking, he hasn't got his Lego up yet because he's just moved into it. So congratulations on your new flat, Chris.
Thank you very much.
Cool.
I'm pretty sure I was here last time though.
Was it? Yeah, probably. It's just that I think you had a virtual background on or something. It just looks bare, or unless you've moved it around, I'm not too sure. Yeah.
Well,
but
I don't know.
But anyway, we're here. Oh, do you like the new virtual background? It's like a black hole. I thought, I'll put some animation on instead. It looks quite cool. So I was looking around because SteamYard now supports it now, so it's really, really cool. But anyway, we are here to discuss a couple of bits and bobs. So we're going to be covering 2 episodes of the Skeleton Crew. So we're going to be covering episode 4 and episode 5. So can't say I remember no Attin, and you have a lot to learn about pirates. So we're going to be covering those 2 episodes. And we're also going to be covering the new Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, because we've not spoken much about it and we really want to get into it, and some news. So should we just head over to the news section then, Chris?
Of course, let's get to it.
Come on, let's head over to the news. So here's the news. Right then, what I've got. I've actually got Fantatracks up because Fantatracks is pretty one of the best places to go for news, or Jedi news. You could go to Jedi news, but let's have a look at Fanta. So I was going to say, do you know what I'm going to be talking about? But you probably do. Season 2 of Ahsoka is finally. Is it a rumor, or are they officially said it?
I believe they officially announced it.
It's the officially announced it, yes. So we have now got an official replacement for the great and late Ray Stevenson, who passed away last year. It was a blow. It was a blow to the community, because if there's one thing you've got to praise for the Ahsoka episode, is how good Ray Stevens was. Period. I mean, he was the best thing in that show, and I just can't. I really want to see deleted scenes now of him in the episode. I want to see, I just want to get more of that character. But we're going to get more of that character in season 2, of course, in the shape of Rory McCann. So I'll put it into to the video feed. Share screen. Here we go. Right. So this is it. So as people probably remind him, it's a great photo of him, I suppose. So he played the Hound in Game of Thrones. So we know he can seriously hold a sword. You know what I mean? He really can. It would not surprise me if most of these people that get trained up in sword play for long series or films become actually master swordsmen. I know what's his name, who played Aragorn in Lord of the Rings. He actually became a sword master. He became that good at it. So we know that Rory can swing a lightsaber, you could say. So so he's now been cast as Balin the Scroll for Ahsoka season 2. Oh, look at him. He's so good. I'm going to get his action figure. Is this action figure out yet? I'm not too sure if I've seen it. If not, I'm gonna get it from the local toy shop, Cosmic Comics down the road. I'll probably order it there. So after the In Snyder first, is that In Snyder or whatever it is, first reported it, the heavy hitting Hollywood Reporter now confirmed that Rory McCann is best known as the Hound in Game of Thrones, as well as appearing in Hot Fuzz. Yeah, he was in Hot Fuzz. He was Yarp in Hot Fuzz. Yeah. Gladiator 2, which I've not seen, and Jumanji: The Next Level. I remember seeing Jumanji, but I can't remember seeing him in it. Will succeed the late Ray Sims in the role of Balin Scroll in the second season of Ahsoka, rumored to start filming in the UK in April. I thought they filmed most of Ahsoka on a soundstage.
Yeah, they did film a lot of it in America originally, but I think it's also to do with studio availability and also prices are changing with the economies. So I think we remember speaking about it a few weeks ago when we said all filming for Star Wars projects were now going to be taking place in the UK.
Yeah. So it says Scottish actor Rory McCann, best known for playing the Brute, the Hound in Game of Thrones, will replace late actor Ray Stevenson in the second season. Stevenson played the hulking former Jedi known as Balin Scroll in the Disney Plus series. He died after a brief illness in May 2023, 3 months before the series premiered. The actor was a fan favorite thanks to his resonant voice, humor, roles in Punisher, Warzone, and Thor movies and TV's Rome. Oh, he was so good in that. I recommend, if you can find secondhand copies of that anywhere, get it. He's really, really good in it. Period. He's just really, really good. So what do you reckon to that news then, Chris?
I think it's one of these really hard things about it all. And I think I joked with you that I was like, Disney's got 3 options, and the 3 options only. They can recast someone fully. So just put a different person in and just say it's the same person. Try and make him look the same and all these kind of things, but essentially be the same person. The second approach is to, kill them off screen and, write the story a different way.
Yeah.
Or the third approach is get a different actor, but then put the face and AI of the dead actor on them. The good old Peter Cushing treatment. And I don't think that's what they're going to be doing with this. I definitely think they're going to be recasting, him for his voice and his acting, not just replacing him with a virtual version of Ray Stevens.
Yeah. That is a good point there, Chris. That's a very good point, because no one's ever dead really in the Star Wars trilogy. There's been no end of actors they have literally cut and pasted from the other Star Wars films and had them in, for instance, like you say, Rogue One with Peter Cushing, but they also had a couple of actors in the X-Wings that were from Star Wars as well, playing. They're not passed away, but they were playing they were the younger versions of themselves because they were cut actually straight from the film. So yeah, but to be fair, he's a really good actor. I'd like to see how they're going to do it. To be fair, I do like Rory. He is a really good actor, and he was brilliant in Game of Thrones, and he was one of these characters you love to hate. You know what I mean? And he was superb in that. But he's got big shoes to fill. We'll be hearing that a lot when the episode's out. Big shoes to fill. Just saying that as well, Chris. Have a look at this, which because I just thought I'll look up to see if I can find an action figure of Balin Scroll. But straight up came this. Let me just stop screen. There we go. This one, share screen of. I think it's this one here. Look at this. Whoa. Look at this. How good is this?
That is really, really cool.
Yeah, but look at the face on it. Wow. That is so it's Hot Toys. It's a Hot Toys. You can get it on on Zavi. This is the website I'm looking at, but the sculpt on that face is amazing. It's
really
got
impressive.
and he's got separate rolling eyeballs so we can look over. His armor, he's posable. Do you know what? I've never ever spent £300 on an action figure, but I'd be seriously thinking about getting this one. He is just unbelievable good. But that sculpt on that face is just amazing.
It is
just amazing. Yeah, just amazing.
It's really, really cool.
Yeah. So it's on Saturday. So that's on Zavi. Hot Toys. It's 1/6 scale collectible statue, £299, and it says pre-order now. So it's estimated date is September 2025. Right. Okay. We'll have to see about that. Yeah. Right. Okay. What you got?
I actually didn't pull one up because my computer was freezing a little bit. I was trying to get through it, but the one that I was going to put up, I think is later on. It talks about later episodes of the Skeleton Crew, but yeah, nothing seemed to be loading very fast on my browser, and I don't want to exit anything and ruin the stream. So I was just using a different browser. Let's see if I can stream that.
I know while you're just looking at that, I hope I'm not picking one that you're picking, but I noticed that the 20th anniversary release of Revenge of the Sith is coming up pretty fast, and I know Nicholas wants to go and see it. I want to go and see it back on the cinema, and they've just put some new artwork up for it. So let's have a look at that. That's not what you were looking at, is it, Chris?
No.
Right. So this is the logo, the official logo now, 20 Revenge of the Sith. It's very similar to what they did for the 40th anniversary for Return of the Jedi. With a big letter 40, 40, Return of the Jedi, and 20. Because I've got the cap, and of course I've got the jacket over there. It's very nice. I like it. Good and bad. It's got, is fiery on one side, white on the other. And there was I'm sure there was a poster I saw online as well. This year marks the 20th anniversary of the release of Revenge of the Sith, the movie that originally completed the circle and brought an end to the Star Wars saga. And that's where it ended, actually. The bottom right-hand corner of the 3rd of June's 20th anniversary Star Wars Insider Revenge of the Sith Special Edition delivers us a very welcome nugget, revealing the 20th anniversary logo with Darth Vader's looming large behind Anakin and Obi-Wan battling like heroes on Mustafar on the cover of the 96-page issue, which you can order from Amazon. Well, that's really nice. Yeah, I can't wait for that. I really can't wait for it.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's quite cool. I think we'll expect to see another one of them custom posters that gets re-released by that UK artist.
I'm Matt. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just looking now. I think is that it? No, that. Well, it is that, but people have. It's only, I don't know what. All I can see is the poster that I'm looking for, but it's on YouTube channels. See if I can find it quickly. There's a lot. Yeah. No, I can't seem to see it. I can see it behind a logo, behind a video, but
you can't see it in front of it.
I can't. Yeah, I can't find one with it in front. It's like this TikTok. I'll just add it to screen. Here we go. Show to screen. So I'm looking on this one. It's that one there. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Episode 3. So I'm just live searching here. There we go. It's still there, just that little one there. Unfortunately, no, I can't see it. Can't see it. Anyway, yeah. So go on then, Chris.
Interesting. The next article that I was going to put up was the one that was going to really take the rest of our time away today, the news. But I think it's quite a big one, so just accept my screen share.
Ah, right, okay.
There
we go.
So James Mangold has said that he's not interested in being handcuffed by so much law. And I think this is a really interesting point to talk about and to discuss these things, because he said the Star Wars movie would be taking place 25,000 years before any known Star Wars movie takes place, in an area and a playground that's always wanted to explore and that I was inspired by as a teenager. I'm not that interested in being handcuffed by so much law at this point that it's almost immovable and you can't please anybody. That's it's a really interesting comment, and it's a very powerful comment as well if you really think about it, because storytelling in the Star Wars universe is we act like it's such an easy thing to do, but it's not. There's so much law, so much timelines. Star Wars Explained every year does a really long video about the timeline of Star Wars, and sometimes it's really hard to place where certain events happen and all these things. So, I think it is quite interesting that he wants to say, I want to do something so far away from everything that it changes, perspective. It's something completely fresh, because even though when we think of like the New Republic and like the Acolyte, it's like, oh, this is a new era of Star Wars, and you go, great, but they still put Yoda into it at the end. They still put Darth Plagueis, and they're cool things, but there's still that expectation, 25,000 years before that. What was it like? Did they have advanced robots, droids, or did they not? Did the universe look how it looks now, or did it not? Do they even have space travel? Do they not? How long have they had all of these things? And we could see a story that's very much focused on one planet, without any space travel, without all these things that we're so used to Star Wars being, or we could not and be like, yeah, they've had lightsabers for 25,000 years, they've had space travel for 25,000 years, so we'll definitely see I think a lot of stuff with this. There's also another comment that says success is never guaranteed, but reality is that the way to get most people to agree is to move them to somehow find the humility in a situation, whether it's a mega franchise or a smaller dramatic movie, whether they are usually the movies you remember are the ones that move you, the ones that leave you cold, even if they're clever, even if they're spectacular, even if they dazzle, somehow just become replaced by the next dazzling object in another year. It's the feelings, it's the feels, right? That truly defines how we feel about these movies and whether we care to visit them again. And I think it's a really interesting quote, because no matter how you feel about James Mangold and Indiana Jones, and I'm sure we're going to be speaking about this in a minute, But, I am still interested for his Star Wars project, because, he took a franchise like X-Men, Logan, and created a very compelling story. Was Indiana Jones that too far for it, you know. We don't know. We don't really. It doesn't really matter at this point. What is it? It is. But he is a talented filmmaker.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see where it goes, and I guess we'll probably hear some updates from Star Wars Celebrations Japan later in the year.
We will. You've also got to remember that, well, you know, he's going back to it. He's doing it. Star Wars, thousands. So he's not handcuffed, like you say, right? But we do know some established law. And is he gonna like go just make it all up? You know what I mean, change it. But there again, that's what Disney do anyway, don't they? They change it up. They couldn't. When have Disney ever listened to law, to canon? They don't believe in it. Well, funny enough, you're talking about James Mackey. What's his name? Mangold, right? And the Indiana Jones is because that he did. There was a story on Dark Horizons, which I've searched, where he blames the fans for the critical negative reviews of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Right. So basically, the film now, Indiana Jones and the crap film. The film now sits at 62% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is still easily the lowest of the franchise to date, behind Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull at 77%. So James Mangold says this: when you're in franchise lands, it's very hard for critical thinkers to overlook what I'm sure the editors want, which is this business as a phasm of how does it rate to the other one. I always thought I was second or third best to one of the greatest films of all time. I'll be good. I mean, it's all vaporized later. Either the movie will live or it won't. No, it tanked. But basically, he just said that it's the fans, really, because the fans didn't like it. It's roughly it says. It's not. He said it's not a case of diverseness. It seems common criticisms of the film are like the cast, but dubbed the film as safe entry that's over long and missed Spielberg's flair as it turns into a greatest hits style entry. No, it was even crap. It was just awful. It was just an awful film. It makes me mad that it's out. A lot of people joked about when they go, oh yeah, there were 4 Indiana Jones films. They go, no, there weren't. So basically they're not counting Crystal Skull. I'm sorry. There's only 4 films because there's no last entry. And right, I go out and see just if you got the time, you can watch it in sections like I did. This guy who is a brilliant Indiana Jones fan, he looks into it does a 4-hour documentary about the film. His documentary is far better than the film. Right. And we also know what is far better than the film as well. But, you know, James, they say you're only as good as your last film. Well, his last film was pretty shit. It really was. And we all know it. So, hey, you can't break something that's already broken. So, yeah, do it, mate. Do it. You know what I mean? Try it. You know what I mean? That's the thing. All these established franchises that we're all grown up with, they're all broken now. They're all... The woke society has just done their best with them and smashed them all to pieces. So, hey, do whatever you want. You know what I mean? I'll sit there and watch it. And like you, Chris, won't we? We'll turn around to each other and go, do you know what? That was really, really good. It's like I finally sat down and watched Dune 2 with you. And what did I tell you? What did I say to you once I watched it? That was a bloody good film. You know what I mean? It was a bloody good film. And, you know, there is a segue from this into our next section, right? But I have got one other thing I just want to put up. If I can find it, it is news. It's about our good friend Warwick Davis. It's very, very quick. Warwick Davis. It's disappeared now. Where is it? Warwick Davis got a BAFTA award for his contribution to film. I've just seen it on the website as well, and it's disappeared. How's that?
Warwick Davis received a BAFTA fellowship.
Oh, that's it. Can you link it and I can put it up?
Yeah, it's just something very small, but of course. I mean, like the articles, like 20 words.
I know. I got what you mean.
It literally just said, fantastic news to kick off the weekend as tonight's episode of The One Show revealed via Doctor Who and comic relief star Lenny Rush that this year's BAFTA fellowship recipient will be Warwick Davis. Huge congratulations to Warwick, someone who has been a friend to Fanta and numerous other sides across the podcasts across the years for the richly deserved honor.
Yeah, it is. It's really is good news. I saw it on X. He posted on X a really nice picture of him holding his little statue, and I was like, yeah, fair play to you. He's been in the business an awful long time. I think he's about as old as me, actually, because he was in Return of the Jedi, roughly about the same age I was at the time. But fair play to him. You know, he's such a good actor. He's been in some crap, but that's not his fault. You know what I mean? And I'm only talking about one thing really, and that's the Willow sequel, which for some reason Disney has now disowned, so that it never existed. So why can't Disney do that with some other bits and bobs?
Well, it depends on the thing.
Right. So now, is that all, Chris?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. That is right. So now that's the end of the news, and now, right, let's have a bit of Indiana Jones, because I'm quite excited about this actually. And so let's talk about the new game that's out, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Now, you played it before me. I'm working my way through it.
We'll keep it spoiler free.
Yeah, we'll keep it spoiler free. And I have to say, right, this game, Chris, sparks that love for Indiana Jones. And I went back and watched the original 3 straight off, right? And in fact, I'm going to watch Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Yeah, I mean, because I do like it. It's all right. But God damn, that it's a good game. It's got everything that makes Indiana Jones, and makes that it just makes me tingle up with excitement, and I can't wait to get back into it. And it's one of those games I think that once I've done it, I'm probably going to revisit, because I can't see anything wrong with it at the moment, Chris. Nothing. From the opening, it's not much of a spoiler because it's all out there, really. But now there's always like a beginning training level, so you know how to do your whip, know how to pull your gun, how to throw a punch. It's this section of the beginning of Raiders of the Lost Ark where he goes to the cabin to find the idol. You play it, and it's literally scene for scene, right? And Indy's the capture of Indy looks brilliant, looks fantastic, and I'm going to give him a good clap. Troy Baker, who does the voice of Joel in The Last of Us, he does Indiana Jones's voice, and he is spot on. He's so good. I'm like, wow, what a game.
Yeah, and I played it all the way through before you even had a chance to play it, and that is because I own an Xbox and you own a PlayStation. There's a big difference there. It is coming to PlayStation, I believe, in spring. So hopefully sometime in the next few months. But what I think really interesting about this is the studio that created it, Machina Games. They create really, really great games. I've been a fan of all their games all throughout the years. Their Wolfensteins, all of them, and because that's really all they've done. But something that I did want to bring up there, I think it's really important because it's something that you've questioned me on, is like, how could we get this film that's like divisive with Harrison Ford, but then get this very particular game that feels very in tune with the original trilogy of films, in tune with what makes an Indiana Jones adventure an Indiana Jones adventure. And I'm a bit, I wouldn't say I'm not an Indiana Jones fan. I wouldn't say I am an Indiana Jones fan. I'm very much a person that respects the caricature of Indiana Jones. I watched some of the films after playing the game and thought, yeah, actually, these are really, really, really good. But I wouldn't say I've spent months of my life thinking about Indiana Jones or whatever. So I just want to say that before talking about it, is that as a game, I thought it was incredible in all aspects of it. And I thought the execution was near perfection. I thought the story was really great. I think one of the antagonists in it, Tony Todd, he passed away. Rest in peace. He's really good and does not go to the parts where he really gets fleshed out. He's great. I even think the bad guy in it, Emmerich Voss, he's excellent. I would almost say he's the best Indiana Jones villain out of all of the films. Is that because you get a lot of time with him? And this is one of the really big things about, I think, the game is I put easily 30, maybe 40 hours into it, playing it completely through. So that's already, 20 times longer than a film, but not one moment of it did it not feel like a film. It didn't feel like an unauthentic Indiana Jones experience. I thought it paced it really well. The story was it really good, really, really quite exciting. And I think it'll be a game I'll pick up again in a few years and think, you know what, I want to do a playthrough of this, and I do that with machine games every few years. I'll pick up Wolfenstein and play that, or Doom by ID Soft. And I definitely think this is one of an incredible title that we got out of the Xbox franchise, and ownership by Microsoft of Machina Games.
Yeah.
Something that I thought was really interesting is, since the success of the game, there's been a ripple effect of communication that has came out saying Disney is really impressed with its numbers and impressed with the success of it, and have already asked for a sequel. Indiana Jones doesn't die because he's in 3 more films after it. So it's not really much of a spoiler that he makes it out alive. So it is that thing that is really interesting. And one of the things you asked me and we spoke about was, you said, how could this game get it so right in its story, but to you as a classic Indiana Jones film, an Indiana Jones fan, Crystal Skull tried some different things, but it still felt like it was doing what the original trilogy did, but tried something different. But then Dial of Destiny felt completely different, but with the same character. So how come this game feels so much like these people got it, And I really thought about that question, and I responded to you. I believe this to a certain extent, is that games as a medium is not something the executives or the high up people at Disney really care about. It's not something that they're going to think about who's the director of it to a certain extent, who's this, who's that, what's the story, And the reason I can say that with some conviction is because of a similar thing that happened with another Bethesda title, but the opposite way round was the Fallout TV show. And the show, obviously Bethesda said, we're going to be, we're creating this Fallout show. These are the people that are going to be running it. And it came out that Bethesda said to them, do whatever you want, do whatever you want, pretty much. And, create anything you want. It's up to you. It's a fresh narration. I think that's really cool. But then they said, the showrunners were like, no, we want to make it like the games. We want to make it, as realistic to the games as possible. And there's that thing that Bethesda, I remember Todd Howard saying, like, he didn't expect that. He was like, I expect them to just go free will, but actually they wanted to be very much like the games. So what I'm trying to say here with Indiana Jones, I think is really important, is the reason the game is so successful is because the story of the game has not had such a critical oversight of it that the films have, with even TV shows, the writers guilds, the strikes, the changing of directors, changing of stories. A game is very much this growing medium, but still not as much oversight happens to it compared to the films and stuff. And I think we have to look at back of other successes in Disney's IP history. Jedi Survivor, really successful. Will we ever see a sequel? It's questionable. Star Wars, Eclipse, where did that even go?
Yeah,
I just
disappeared
off the face of the earth. Battlefront, when will we actually get a Battlefront 3? That franchise still has so much opportunity. Will we ever see one? I don't know.
Yeah.
But then you have the complete other hand where it's like Spider-Man on PlayStation. I know it's more intrinsically linked to Sony, but that's super successful. But then X-Men and the Wolverine game, I think I said to you, it got released that they were working on it 3 years ago at this point, and we still haven't even heard where it's going. Unlike the Indiana Jones game that only got announced 9 months before I think it was like 6, 7, 8 or 9 months before they actually released it. So, I
did they
think
announce it? It's at a D20. No, it can't be. No, I can't remember where they announced it.
They announced it on an Xbox showcase.
Oh, that was it.
And I think it's really interesting as a whole, their strategy here, because this is a game that Microsoft could quite easily hold to themselves. But, I said it to you that, I would love to play the Spider-Man games. I'd love to play the Last of Us games. But putting a £500 barrier up in front of them is just something that sucks for the whole industry, and sucks for people who want to play them experiences but can't. And actually, I think Bethesda and Xbox are doing the right thing to say, yeah, we're going to gatekeep it for a few months, but it'll get there. We'll make sure it goes onto PlayStation.
Yeah.
And it is such a good game. It is, I think, as someone who's not the biggest Indiana Jones fan, as in, like, I like it, but I don't have so much knowledge like I have for Star Wars, I thoroughly enjoyed it in every aspect, and it left me wanting more Indiana Jones at the end of it, when I can agree with things like Dial of Destiny. Did I want to watch another Indiana Jones film after it? No, yes, but you have to remember, I'm a kid that grew up on Crystal Skull. I don't think that film is bad at all, but time will tell with all these things.
It is, yeah. Just add this to the feed. Here we go. It is. This was up on Fanta. So Indiana Jones and the Great Circle Metacritic score has broken an Xbox record for 2024. It says Indiana Jones and the Great Circle has gained positive reviews from critics focused on its immersion and similars to the films. 2024's highest rated Xbox exclusive according to Metacritic with 87 score, beating out games put out by Microsoft's own companies this year. So like how they've hashtagged everything in it, even with Dial of Destiny, indie fans, Lucasfilm, Spielberg, Indiana Jones series, adventure movies. Yeah, but I have to say 100%. But also is that's out is the score, if I can find it, I'll sit here it is. So the Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, the score is out on Spotify. You can listen to it on Spotify. And I have, and it's really, really good. The only thing about it is I think I must have said it to you. I was thinking, oh, it's not got an end credit title, music, as in like a film where it will die off, then they go bum 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 bum, and then it'll go into do the Raiders score, and then it'll go into its own music from the game, and then bum 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 bum, and then finish it off. I was hoping for something like that, but it didn't. So on the score, so I was like, right, okay, right. So I'll have a look online. So I put down what was it called? Indiana Jones and the Great Circle end credits theme, and it came up, and it's 35 minutes long. 35 minutes long. I was like, what the hell's going on with this? And it is not. I think it literally plays all of the soundtrack all in one go, all the way back, which is weird. It is kind of weird.
Yeah, and I don't want to obviously talk about the story too much because I want to respect people having the time to experience it. I definitely think we should talk about it in the future, but I wanted to just really talk over like 5 characters that are in it quickly. Is one of the first ones, Marcus Brody. I think it's actually really interesting. They got someone else to do his voice, David Shaughnessy. I think he does a really good impression of Marcus Brody, and I think it's a very small part in it, but it really is quite impactful in them early moments. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
I think Tony Todd and his role in
Tony
it,
Todd,
I think is really, really quite good. He's set up as one of these main characters, very mysterious. Is he working with Indy? Is he working against Indy? You need to play the game to find out. But I think his character is really, really quite cool. You have Mario Garrelis as Emmerich Voss. Now, when we do get to talk about the story in detail, Emmerich Voss as a character is someone I'm really interested to speak about because I think he plays an excellent Indiana Jones villain in every aspect as a whole. And then you also have Alyssa Mastramondi. She plays Gina Lombardi, this kind of sidekick, love interest, you could say, for Indiana Jones. And I thought her character as a whole as well was quite interesting. A really good story to know where it goes, how it ends. I think she was really good as a sidekick character.
Yeah.
But
She can I just stop you there?
yeah,
Her face sculpt, her face they used looks just like Marion. Just looked like her. Just I'm thinking they could have actually put Marion in it. You know what I mean? They really could.
well, this is the weird thing because all the face sculpts are very similar to the voice actors. But then you look at Troy Baker and you're like, did they make him look like Troy Baker or did they make him look like Harrison Ford?
Yeah, there was. Do you know? I'll see if I can find it. Right, there was one scene in it. Try not to spoil it, but it's where you first get introduced to the bad guy, Voss. Yeah, and Indy is sort of looking over this crate, and have you found it? Yeah.
Well, I've got,
Yeah. So on.
It's not this one, but you can see it's got this very,
and
it's kind of a bit of both.
Yeah, and he's looking over it, and when Voss explains what the Great Circle, he's looking, and his face. That's it. That's the scene. That's it. That's exactly what I was going to look for. That picture there, right? Yeah, that's Troy Baker. That is Troy Baker as Indiana Jones, 100%. But that one cutscene, I can't explain how good this scene is as a cutscene. I've got. Oh, I'm starting to get prickles on me again. I mean, it's goosebumps. It's so good because you can see the wonder in his face of a brand new mystery that's unfolding about this great circle. And he's, oh man, just loved it. I mean, and because you're playing it, you're experiencing it. You know what I mean? And you got that twinkle in his eye. You've got that feeling of adventure, and that's what I liked. That's what I like about it. Yeah, I mean, and Troy Baker is just superb in it. Just superb. I don't think I've ever been let down by Troy Baker doing voiceovers. He even did Batman once.
Yeah, and I think what's really interesting about this is that when the game got released, Harrison Ford had some comments to say as well about it.
I've got it. Oh, when the game was released, or when he went
from the Game Awards.
Right, I've got that here. I have got that here. So let me just do that. I've actually got that screen here. Indiana Jones. Back. Oh, that's weird. I did have it. Here it is. Right. Hold on a second. There we go. Join it in. Here it is. Let's have a listen. You should be able to hear it.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Now, as you know, the Game Awards for the last decade has celebrated the best performances in games by honoring some of my peers, my friends, like Nolan North, Roger Clark, yes, Laura Bailey.
Actually, Troy, have you ever won this award? Look, they do give an award for best indie game, and I think everybody here can agree you make a great case for best indie performance.
Oh. Well, thank you. I don't know about that. Thank you, though.
There was another guy, though.
You mean the other guy?
He's pretty good. Pretty
Really?
good.
Absolutely.
I wonder what he thinks.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. While you're on your feet, let's give a big round of applause to these two guys for the Great Circle. Thank you. I think this guy did a great job. If I'd known he was so good, I would have done it myself. Boy, we're gonna skip.
I think his turn is to skip there.
Now.
Yeah. Yeah, he's saying, I don't really want to say the rest of that.
Yeah, that's to be fair, why did a lot of people say, why didn't he do it? But I'm glad he's gave.
We can tell
Troy
you why. Because games are this. You really think, not maybe necessarily money, but do you really think they care about games? You know? Do you think Harrison Ford plays video games? No. And it is this. I think Indiana Jones is one of these really surprising cases where, like they've said, Disney are picking up the phone. They want more. It's like you could almost see the scenario where Bethesda Studios, Machine Games, Todd Howard had to beg Disney for this license, and Disney's like, sure, fine, have it. We don't really care. And now it's so successful, they're like, now we're interested. Like, now we want to do more. And we know they don't care because as soon as Disney got hold of Lucasfilm, Lucas Games got dissolved. It went. And I think Indiana Jones and the Temple and the Great Circle is this really good case of you can take franchises and convert them from film to game successfully. Do I know of many others that are successful in that transition? I can't really think of one off the top of my head of that successful from film to video games. Harry Potter, that was really successful as well. I forgot what it's called. Hogwarts
Legacy.
Another really good case of taking that standard and converting it down. But I think as a medium, this doesn't make me want another Indiana Jones film. It makes me want another game. And Harrison Ford probably sitting there thinking, am I being put out of a job here? But he spent the last film not wanting to go on that adventure.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
So we can get to a more deeper dive in the story, I think, in the future, because obviously it's still quite early, still quite new. But as a game, it's so impressive to play, and I loved every part of it.
I did too. I can't fault it, and no doubt you will be hearing more as we go. As I play further into it, like I say, I've just done the first two levels, which is the Vatican, and now I'm in Giza, which I'm fully enjoying.
Yeah,
really good.
Yeah, I said you're about 40% through. I think once you finish the Giza section, you're probably about like 50, 55-ish. So, you still got a decent chunk of game ahead of you of the full story. But yeah, if you have an Xbox or a PlayStation or a PC, as soon as this comes out on PlayStation, definitely buy this. This is a game that's worth it. If you've got an Xbox right now, definitely buy it. It's so good in every single part of it.
It is. Right. So so we've gone quite long on that one, actually. So that just brings us to our end of our review for Indiana Jones. Like I say, we'll jump back in every now and again because it is really, really good. And I like talking about Indiana Jones every now and again. So what are we here for, Chris? Skeleton Crew. Right, Skeleton Crew. So let's go down below decks with a Skeleton Crew. Right. So today we are going to be talking about two episodes, which is episode 4, Can't Say I Remember No Attin. And episode 5, You Have a Lot to Learn About Pirates. Now, I like these two. I've not seen a bad episode yet, to be fair, Chris, over these. And to be fair, we are pretty caught up. It's just that we're not catching up. We're taking our time because there's loads of time. We're taking the time. So episode 4, Can't Say I Remember No Attin is actually directed by the Daniel brothers. Now, the Daniel brothers, they did
Everything, Everywhere,
all at once. Fantastic movie. They also did Swiss Army Knife Man?
Swiss Army Man with Daniel Radcliffe in.
Yeah, and so they've got a particular style. They are pretty like in the indie directors, really, isn't it? And I was waiting for that style in this episode, but it came at the end. You could say it came to it at the end. So this episode is the crew use the K's coordinates to arrive at what they believe to be at Attin. The planet turns out to resemble a war-torn version of it, and later they learn that they're actually on at Akron, one of the sister planets. Jod stays on the ship with SM-33 while the kids venture out. They run into soldiers who identify themselves as Troix, a clan engaged in the bitter blood feud with the Hattans, who have stolen their Eops. Is that Opis? Opis without the E in it. With their Opis. Yeah. Neil befriends a young girl soldier named Haina, whose father, General Stax, insists that the children to be treated like adults. Neil does not take to the trials as the violent lifestyle, preferring a more humane approach. The kids are to aid the Turks in getting their OPs back, but Jod and SM-33 insist to buy them back from the Hittens. As a reward, they are directed to the Fallen Sanctuary, which resembles the supervisor tower at Attin. Right, I just want to leave it there before we talk any more. What did you think of this episode, Chris? Because I loved the look of it and how the ship went into it. And first of all, as they're going towards the planet, you see these satellites above, and I was convinced they looked just like, and I still am actually. They are Project Cinder. They look just like the big giant machines in Project Cinder. Now, I don't want to spoil what's been said, what's been played now, but I still do believe that these machines have got two purposes, right? One is to blow the planet or to bleach the planet, and also to conceal it. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think it's quite interesting because I think the planet that they go to at Akron is obviously similar to Attin. You know, they land and think this looks like Attin, but it feels a bit like I was thinking it felt a bit like Ginobili, like it felt like something's gone wrong, you know what I mean, like alternative universe. And I thought it was really interesting because obviously you see the two sides and you know, but yeah, I really like what the Daniels did with this episode. And I thought the funniest character as a whole was is SM-3. You know, I think he's just very funny, yeah, in every way. Especially when they're like, you know, aren't you like SM-3? Yes, you know, and you were the first mate of the Onyx Cinder. Yes, your navigational records are able to direct us back to the planet we came from. Makes sense to me. Then take us back to Attin. Can't remember I know any Attin.
Can't remember. I know Attin.
Like, yeah, and I thought this episode really sets up something very special. And that is the school has a defensive system. I fully suspect that will play into anything that happens on at Attin later on in the series, hopefully, or that's just a big gun that they're showing for no reason. But yeah, I thought it was really cool. I liked how there's other planets like Attin. Obviously that they found the coordinates to their home from this planet, and yeah, I enjoyed this episode overall. Quirky, a lot of camera action, just like Everything Everywhere All at Once, and yeah, I really liked it as a whole. I really enjoyed it, but I think like most things with this TV show is side characters are really hard to feel any pull. And I think that's by purpose. Like the kids that they were speaking to, I can't remember any of their names or anything. It's like I can remember, think about the cats, you know, what we're around. And I think that's how it's always kind of is with these kind of shows. So I think it was quite a good episode. Obviously, this is, I believe in this episode, they find out the purpose of the planets. I believe it said in this episode that that they're mints that of coins, but yeah, something happened to it. We wonder what. Plundered, ruined. We don't know. It's not
surely this planet itself is a mint, and it's just hidden, you know, they're on. Because I was thinking that, and especially how we've because we're at now episode 7, we're sort of looking back, we can see what's been said, but I was thinking surely all these planets were hidden because they are all mints. So you know, did Operation Cinder melt these, because basically it's like if we can't have it, no one can have it, and that's why they were destroyed. That's my belief. I know Imperial Activity, our good friend, is on, and now because I've just asked him what his thoughts are. Sorry, Chris, and he is put in my thoughts. So much fun. And he's also put hard to believe episode 8 comes out this Tuesday. I know. We'll get to it eventually, mate. We'll, yeah. But so that's what I was thinking. Surely there's a mint on that planet as well.
Yeah, because there's 9 jewels of the Old Republic. You know, there is no map to Attin. No, this scroll depicts the jewels of the Old Republic, planets of wonder kept hidden for their protection. That was from Klim Kihaum, how you pronounce it, the owl character in episode 3. And obviously she showed this scroll of these 9 planets at Attin, at Atun, at Akrin, at Avin, at Assis, and at Accord, Coda. They've all got at the start, and they all start with A as well. But yeah, it's quite interesting. I think it's a really cool place because obviously the kids think, are we home? No, it doesn't feel like home. Something's not right.
It's very much a copy, isn't it? It's like
like I said, it's like Genobled.
It's
very similar to what they're used to, but it's not.
It's like they go into a house and it's like Wim's house, but it's even got the same mural on.
And even got the same tree, but it's really overgrown.
Yeah. It's like very different. A carbon copy of the town. It's like they've just cloned the town. Ooh, perhaps they've cloned all the people as well. Wouldn't that be weird? And they've just rebuilt it. You know what I mean? But I was also thinking, I wonder what, like, going forward, going backwards, why well, everything was destroyed, so no wonder the ship wouldn't be on like an autopilot or anything as it approached. But I actually thought, how come these people have not stolen the ship? You know what I mean? They're stuck on a planet that's in the crapper. Oh, there's a brand new ship. There's a ship that landed. Let's take it. No. Can I give you some credits, mate? And they're all skint as well on that planet. So imagine if they found out they were actually just sitting on billions of credits. That's strange. They could rebuild their city.
You know, yeah. Something obviously happened on this planet. We don't know. Something obviously happened to the other 7 as well, if there's 9 of them. But that's not for this TV show to tell us about, or maybe it will. So it was a really cool episode. I really enjoyed it. And it finishes with Fern realizing she can reverse the code on Smee's logic gates to say that he does know where it is, but he's being held to not say it, you know. And then Smee starts going into this program that if he says that if the captain told him if anyone does ask him where it is, that he needs to rip them apart limb by limb, isn't it?
Yes, limb by limb.
Yeah. And then he begins chanting about pulling them apart. And Jod fires a blaster, but it fizzles. And I believe Neil knocked Smee out, didn't he? I think
he did. No, it's Jod. Let's see it. Let's see this bit.
Oh yeah,
here. It's online here.
I'm the captain, and I order you to stop it. From Hey!
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Leave him alone.
Limb from limb. Limb from limb.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, it's quite funny. And he's like, "Oh, always go for the off switch.
Always go for the off switch." Yeah.
And yeah, I thought it was fun. And then that's the whole episode ends there basically. But I thought, you know, looking at that part, Neil and what he did was really quite exciting because he doesn't want to go on an adventure. He wants to stay in the comforts of his house to actually stand up for his friends and distract them. I think is really quite good for his character arc.
It is,
yeah. I really liked it.
I did as well. It was good. And that transformation of Smee, you know, the way the camera was like locked into his face and he got bigger. And it was really
very much in that's I actually watched Everything Everywhere All at Once a few days before that, and I was like, it's almost a carbon copy of a shot from Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yes,
but not a bad thing because it was quite cool. Maybe not very Star Warsy.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, but even in this episode, Jod feels like a father figure to those kids, and they hug him. They can't believe he's with them. You know what I mean? It was good. It was good. So, and I remember saying, "Oh, I wonder how," because it ended so abruptly. Because it ended right there at that scene that we just played. It ended right there, and I was thinking, "Hey, what? Hold on, surely, what's going on here?" And I said, "I bet you the next episode is going to start where they're actually on board ship, mid-flight with SM-33. Not that they've had to drag him out, get back to the ship over the war zone, you know what I mean, and leave." But just missed it, just bypassed it. Yeah, it's pretty good. Anyway, so we got on to episode 5. You have a lot to learn about pirates. Now, on Attin, the parents deliberately desperately, should I say, try to send a message beyond the barrier, but this attempt is foiled by this supervisor droid, which was quite funny. After ordering the droid to delete what it had learned from its memory, Faro admits to Wendell that they have to go behind the supervisor's back. The crew managed to restrain SM-33 and alter his programming to prevent him from turning on them. He reveals that the hidden treasure belongs to the famed pirate Torque Renault, meaning that the ship they are on is the Onyx Cinder, which we've already known because we've seen the Lego kit. SM-33 agrees to take them to Renault's former base deep within the famed luxury planet of Lanupa. We'll leave it there. What do you reckon to this one? Now, this one's a lot of fun. This one is like proper Goonies. You know what I mean? This one is. And I'm going to give a clap to Nick Frost for all his lines in this episode, because even the bit where he's tied down and John does all the rope and he goes, yeah, he ain't getting out of that, and then he goes, then they mind wipe him or whatever, and then he goes, take us to this hideout, and he goes, okie dokie, and he just gets up and walks off. It's like, what? I thought it was just great, and he's all his words is like, oh, it goes, the captain played tricks on people. It's the most ruthless planet to go to. It's so dangerous. Oh, I can't wait. And it's like, and so when they've explained it, John goes, hey, hold on. Oh, that was it. He goes, on those ships, he goes, oh, there'd be pirates looking for the tribe. Well, they look like luxury cruisers. Eh? He goes, what? And he goes, this is a looper. And they're like, eh? It's like, what's happened? What have they done to my own? He says. And they stick a restraint, they land, and they stick a restraining bolt on him. And he goes, why? And he goes, it was so good. I was laughing through this episode. You know what I mean? Nick Frost was so good in this film, in this episode. What do you reckon to it?
Yeah, I feel like it's one of these things that's so funny. It's like, oh yeah, all of these traps in other sense are luxury items to different aliens, like the acid baths. That's what we used to dissolve people. What have they done to them?
What have they done to it? Yeah.
And I thought it was quite interesting as a whole episode. We do obviously get them off board in the ship again, these like Hawaii necklaces and flowers and everything. And what's really interesting is obviously this was the episode where you really started to question Jod's loyalty as a whole, even very much early in the episode, where obviously he gets really annoyed at the kids for being kids, for jumping on the bed, for having a bit of fun. And then they hatch this plan saying that they need to find this chamber and they need to split up. And there's something though that happens there that makes it really quite stressful for Jod, is that he meets this character when they're at the reception desk. I can't say I remember the name off the top of my head, but it's this woman character who is this assassin, and she talks about this bounty on Pocket, on top of Jod's head, and she starts doing this will she won't they, will she report him as he's here or won't she, you know what I mean? And no, it's 100% she's going to report them. And obviously this place has been turned into this resort that has gymnasiums, restaurants, the legendary spa and mud baths, and that it's hosting an economic summit attended by the intergalactic banking clan. So, it's a very wealthy place. And he first says that the kids are wise elders. because no kids are allowed on this planet. That I thought
Go
was
blip,
quite
blop, blop, blop,
interesting.
blip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, what do you think of this Polkit character?
Well, of course, she's quite a famous actress. She did the voice for Meredith in Brave, and she was also in Trainspotting, the original Trainspotting 1 and 2. And what did she call Jod this time? She called him a different name though. She called him Jod's former partner,
Dash Zenick.
Dash Zenick. Yeah, he's got no end of aliases, and she was really good. You know what I mean? Straight away, I thought the look of her, brilliant. Yeah, I mean, she kept her accent.
I thought it was too creepy for me.
Yeah, she did look creepy.
Didn't like how she looked. I thought she looked too creepy. But it was obviously them eye contacts that just totally made it a bit too far for me.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Imperial. Dash Zenta. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So even he says, you know, I mean, she's absolutely going to grass me up, which she did. You know what I mean?
Very, very fast.
And of course, Jod was quick on spending money because he knew he was like, this is it. Yeah, it was good. It's one of those things, isn't it? It's like you go to a beach, like in another country, thinking, I don't know anyone here. In fact, I'm going to go nude. And then when you do, somebody from your local town goes, oh, there, you're right. You think, what the hell? It's like that. Of all the planets in the world he goes to, it just happens to be a bounty hunter there.
Well, it depends how popular he is. He seems like a popular man.
But don't they say it's there's like a security? There's a lot of high executives there. So
yeah, because of the intergalactic Gilding Clan conference. And yeah, we see a hut in a mud bath.
Yeah, doesn't he use like a little waiter and you hear the waiter go, no, not again.
A trogloth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, sir, not again, please, no. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I think he's been through a hut before, or gets spit out. Whatever. It's not very nice. And then obviously they're looking for this puzzle, the entrance to the Captain Reynolds' lair, and we see is it it's not KB and Neil were with Jod, so it would be the other two.
Neil was with them.
No,
and
KB and Neil were with Jod, I think.
No,
so
because
it was,
she was with Jod because
Fern. It was Fern and the last name's Wim. Furman Wim. That was it.
Yeah.
They go into this cave and see this large tentacle monster.
Yeah, that was weird. It was like a kraken. Didn't it not have a name similar to Cthulhu or something?
Cathlops.
I was just about to ask Imperial there because it looked like a Cthulhu creature. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Cathlops.
Yeah. It was pretty cool. I love the design and the way it came in and looked at him. There he is. Yeah. You know, weird spelling. My God, who came up with these spellings? Huh? And and once he just loves stories, didn't he? Oh, tell me a story, I'll help you. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
But he doesn't trust Jod. He says he trusts the kids, but he doesn't trust Jod.
Yeah. And so they managed to work this way down because they're looking for a symbol, haven't they, of Captain Reynolds. So they see it that Cthulhu, what's his name? I can't even pronounce it.
Catholops.
Catholops. Yeah. It is yeah. And basically, so they get down there and they get to this like hidden little bit of the temple, you know, whatever it is, and there's a trap right there. Oh yeah, they say about the booby traps, didn't they? They say about the booby traps, and this like laser, and it just goes above all their heads.
The light.
The kids, yeah, and they're like, and there is some proper like Goonies traps in there. There's even one like alters the gravity up to spikes. But the pirates, of course, they get there. The pirates get. Did you notice that nobody had any respect for other people's parking? Right, because when the cinder landed, a part of it fell off. Part of the hull fell off onto this ship, and then when the pirates landed, they actually landed on somebody's ship. Like, I bet the people are like, oh Jesus Christ, you know what I mean? So the pirates got there, and then of course they go looking for them. So they get into this inner sanctuary where there's this like water, and they notice this saying on the wall about your greatest. You got to sacrifice your greatest thing or whatever. And of course, is it Wim that says we've got to sacrifice one of ourselves?
Yeah,
into acid. Where John goes, nah, it's gold. He didn't really care about anyone. It's gold, and he's got one credit. He uses the Force. Is he a Jedi? He's got to be, isn't he? He's got to be a Jedi, right? He uses the Force to drop this this credit into it, and it melts. And of course, it empties. How it does it? It empties all the acid out, and like steps goes down to a hidden sanctum, you could say. And they go down to it, and they go in, and there's this cabin with absolutely loads of treasure everywhere. It's just like getting on the pirate ship in Goonies with One-Eyed Willie. And of course, is it Wim? He says to him, is everything here booby trapped? And he went, yes, everything's booby trapped. Don't touch it. Oh, just before we get to that, is it in this episode? I just remembered Jod and Wim have a moment, don't they? In this one, where Wim is very upset, and Jod sits next to him, and I really like this scene. That scene with them like interacting with each other, and he uses the Force again to show him that, he really does play on that. He's a good guy, really is a good guy. Have you got anything to say about that scene before we just go back to the cabin?
No, the scene where he says about his attachments to everything.
Yeah, get rid of them. Get rid of them. Yeah, so it tells you. I think he is a Jedi because that is a thing that they tell attachments, isn't it? They tell the kids. Yeah, those classic, those vintage arcade Star Wars figures. Get rid of them. But anyway. So let's whip back to this cabin. So they're in this cabin, and of course, Wim touches something like a chair or something, and the floor falls away. Right, but you don't see what's down there. I was thinking, oh Christ! I mean, it's got to be spikes or something like, or acid, isn't it? And then he actually sees a lightsaber, doesn't he, as well? That's sitting there. And then what's her name? Kay.
And they get told to look around. KV.
They look around for something that doesn't belong there or it's out of the ordinary. And she finds a chicken or whatever it is, that everything else is rotten. Oh, no, it's not her that finds it. It's Neil.
It's Neil that finds it.
Neil that finds it. So he finds this
table of food.
Table food, but it's not rotten like everything else. And Jod pushes it, and it activates a video hologram, a data port, which SM then activates, and it's got a log in it. Now, I've got that log here. Shall we play it?
Yeah, of course.
There we go.
You have access to this system?
Aye.
Refill that chamber with acid.
What do you reckon to that bit? Refill that chamber full of acid.
Yeah, he starts showing that. Is he a good guy? Because we've had scoundrels with a heart before.
Yeah. Did you notice the skeletons already in it as well? Yeah. Right. Yeah. So that was quite good. How they all went silver. Right. Here we go.
The treasure. Is it really on the planet? Is it on Attin? Is it real?
Treasure is mentioned in the captain's log.
Let me see the old devil.
I'm going to try and pause it here. Now, this is the captain of this is his booty, you can say, and you don't see his face, but you do see his sort of like shimmer of his hat and a bit of his clothes. And his hat, I don't know if you noticed it, Chris, his hat is the same hat that the kids, one of the kids was wearing when they first came out of the ship, the Cinder. She was actually wearing it. It's got a big brow with a cut in there. Yeah. I just thought I'd point that out.
I have the ship, clad in armor and ready, but my crew still doubts Attin is real.
What's wrong with the picture?
Quiet all hands to seize the treasure. No one knows it is the last old Republic mint.
That's enough.
Why do you think he stopped it there? Because I thought there'd be more to that, to that log. Why do you think he stopped it there? Or did he want it private so he could view it at a later date?
Yeah, I think that is it. He knows at that point he's going to betray the kids, and he doesn't want SM33 to know any more information currently. And he starts thinking about his next steps very carefully.
Yes, he does. You can see him thinking.
An old Republic mint.
It's a mint again. It's where they make money. Make money? You can have infinite money.
Whoa! I guess it is the planet of eternal treasure.
Chad, remember what you promised. You take us home, you get a fair reward, right?
Yeah, we still have a deal, right?
Do you know what? That has to be the greatest pause I've seen in modern TV. That, I mean, you could tell he's like, where do I go from here? And she said, right, we've still got a deal, right? And that deal, he would have come away with a fortune. They would, they would have paid him a fortune for bringing the kids back. But we know he's greedy. He's a very greedy man, isn't he? And it is this point where he does the turncoat, and then you suddenly go, he's had us all. He's had us all.
Is the kids been using him, or is he been using the kids?
I don't know, but Jude Law, he's so good in this role. The way he's just like, do you know what I mean? He's had enough of her, you could say.
I invoke my right to challenge the captain as per the code.
What?
The challenge is thrown. Hand-to-hand combat. To the death.
What? 33?
I'm sorry, Captain. I must follow the pirate's code.
Just say you yield. And I won't have to hurt you.
How dark. I was watching this episode, Chris, and I was thinking, hold on. Is this taking a very bad turn for dark in a kid's Star Wars? We do get darkness, with Vader cutting people in half and stuff like that. But hold on, kids, what did you think? Did you think, are we going to go down this path or what?
Yeah, no, part of me was like, he's just trying to wrangle control, because he's an adult and he knows what he's doing. And he's going to let the kids in sooner or later that it was all part of a plan to get them out there or whatever. Because only he knew how to do it because it's adult things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he could only do it if he was captain. But then as soon as it started going on, I was like, nah, mate. I was like, no, he's going full down the path of greed and he doesn't, care about these kids anymore to a certain extent. And it was all a facade of social engineering to get them home to reveal what that is, because I think at the end of the day, that's what he wants most is money, treasure, what they talk about the greed of it all. And he then turns on the kids quite fast. Slow, but quite fast.
Yeah, here it goes.
To say you yield. Yield, and I won't hurt you.
The score is really good on this.
Just say you'll yield.
She just doesn't want to. That's
I'm really sorry about this. I really am. You have to actually say it.
You're a grown up. You can't fight us. We're just kids.
now
It's not fair.
you are that is what most kids think. You're an adult. You will not hurt kids, right? Unfortunately, in real life, there is a lot of bad people out there that don't think.
What do you mean? He is a bad person.
He is, yeah.
He's been coercing the kids all the way through to get what he wants.
He has, yeah. And she says it's not fair.
Wait for the moment.
But also, just a quick point out, the amount of times she has swindled the other kids herself, and the other kids have said it's not fair. The way she's treated them. And now the table is turned on her, and she's saying it's not fair. I thought that was a good reference.
Yeah.
Here he goes.
It was funny. You just pointed that, and like the thing is, and this is a small flex, but since I moved out, I decided to get myself a nice TV, and I was watching it. I was like, that lightsaber is upside down, and I can see that easily. And then because I could see that, and then obviously he says, "Careful with him." It's not as it seems. It's almost like
I think that's why he was saying it. Careful with him. And I was thinking, how's he not going to chop his own leg off here? He's going to turn himself into a eunuch right now.
Or the other way. Yeah. With it going upwards. It's like, yeah.
The stories.
And then run away.
Come on.
Say it.
Are you?
I'm sorry, Fern. George is the victor. Orders, Captain George.
We need another way out. First, take this lot prisoner. Charges mutinous intent against their captain.
He uses that quite a lot, doesn't he?
I'm sorry, kids. Captain's orders.
Wait, I know.
matches to this system.
That is really cool. I love how they just clicked off the screen as you went to save themselves a bit of budget. But how did Wim not know there was spikes down there or acid? You know what I mean?
He didn't.
Didn't, did he?
That would be one of the things where it's like, oh, they killed themselves.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they would have done. Yeah,
I didn't want to kill them. I just wanted to, that's what I was thinking during it. It was like, is he trying to take control, not to actually hurt them, but to be like, I'm an adult and I know what I'm doing from here? Because obviously, soon as he met the bounty hunter, everything changed. He then, was he going into this like self-defense? Like, I need to defend myself, defend the kids. And that necessarily looks evil versus, doing what needs to be done in his case is like, I believe he saw this, like what happened in the episode is what he believes needed to be done, as in like take control of this on it, the Sonic, the ship, become captain. Because now there's people that could actually kill all of them. Is he now only thinking about himself, or is he actually thinking about the kids? Because he doesn't murder one of them, or he doesn't say you're the captain, then actually does anything. They do all of it to themselves. They free themselves. And I think in an interesting perspective, there's something else to say that he was just in this moment of, greed and arrogance, but he's not actually a bad guy. You know what I mean? But no, it definitely paid it that. No, he's definitely going down this dark path that he is not necessarily a good person overall.
Yeah, that's very true. So, and that brings us to the end of that that episode, really. And fair enough. I think that brings us to the end of this episode as well, doesn't it, Chris? So
it does.
That does bring us to the end of the show.
But there was one more thing that I wanted to say. Obviously, we're a bit delayed on covering this, so we got 3 more episodes left after this. So we'll cover 2, then we'll cover the season finale. But then I said to Dad the other day, we've always joked on the show that I've never seriously watched Andor. So obviously with Andor season 2 coming out in April, we'll try work out a schedule to cover all of Andor season 1.
Yes,
because that's also a series we never covered.
Yeah, it is.
So we'll be looking to do that as well.
Yeah, to be fair, I wouldn't mind rewatching that because all the episodes. Because what did that show for me was how we had to wait each week for it. But now it's out there, I wouldn't mind going through it. But I'm not paying 70 odd quid for the Blu-ray disc. It's been touted for. Yeah, we'll watch it on Disney Plus. Okay, so that right. So. Imperial Activity, he said, always fun to be in the chat with you both. Yeah, I've got my phone down here, so I'm actually looking at the chat myself as well as on the screen. And he also says, look forward to the next time, which will be next Sunday, if that's okay with you, Chris. Yeah, great. Next Sunday we'll cover the next 2 episodes. And so thank you for joining us on Radio Free Endor. We hope you've enjoyed immersing yourself in the galaxy far, far away with us. Stay connected with us on social media and be part of our vibrant community. Search for Radio Free Endor on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and YouTube. Hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications to stay up to date with our latest episodes, discussions, and exciting news. If you want to dive deeper into Star Wars, send us your thoughts, comments, and questions to radiofreeendor@gmail.com. And don't forget to follow me, Jamie_R_Burns on Twitter, and Chris.
Burn Chris.
And we'd love to hear from you and have a galactic chat. So yeah, please use our socials and send us some questions, and we'll read your questions on air. It is a community after all. Let's have some feedback, and we'll even invite you on the show if you want to. That's the way it is. For all you super fans out there, head over to TeePublic and get your hands on official Radio Free Endor merchandise. Excuse me. Whether it's a t-shirt, a hoodie, mask, I don't know why I put mask still on that. Stickers, mugs, key rings, and mouse mats, and we got you covered. So show off your love for the show and look ultra cool while doing it. Remember, iTunes is the go-to place to download our show. So make sure you leave us a fantastic 5-star review. Your support means the galaxy to us and helps us reach more listeners who are hungry for more Star Wars content. Right. So yeah, absolutely. I can't wait to get back on it. Do you know what? I've had a lot of fun today, and I think it's because we properly prepared. You could say. I pre-scheduled it. I'll have to do that for next Sunday because we know we're coming on then, and that's why I liked about it. And also, you know, I look forward to anybody what their feelings or thoughts about where this show's going, and of course, the season final will be here, so we'll know about it, and we will cover it. Absolutely. So, Chris, any final thoughts before we go?
Yeah, it's a really interesting few weeks of Star Wars. I think it's a bit, you know, a lot of YouTubers and everything found it really hard with the release being Christmas Eve and feeling like a dedication to review it and everything. But yeah, I enjoy it. I think it's been good.
Yeah, I have as well. Yeah, and I can't wait to get back into the next episode. So once again, thank you for tuning in to Radio Free Endor. May the Force be with you, and we look forward to bringing you more thrilling adventures in a galaxy far, far away. See you later. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you very, very soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.